putting together a layout from the These Are My People workshop kit, but I'm changing it up quite a bit, so I wanted to show you how you can use the workshop guide as a guideline but make it your own. So this is the guide that is available with the workshop, and you'll make all of these layouts plus 5 cards. And these workshop instructions are great because they show you how to cut all of your paper ahead of time, so you can get all of the cutting done ahead of time if you want. And it's even labeled by project, so you know that 1K, 1L, these ones are for project 1, which is labeled later on in the guide, so you know what it's for. So the way I did this is I just cut this one layout that I'm doing ahead of time, but I used different papers than you see here because my photos didn't go with the yellow and kind of navy and blue. So you can see here underneath, I switched it up to be smoothie and peach, and I'll add a little bit of blue, probably too, some other accent colors. But I just cut the paper needed for this one layout. And so I want to show you real quick, I've already cut into this, so some of it is gone, but I want to show you what else comes in this workshop kit. This awesome stamp set, which, by the way, this collection, These Are My People, is available in March and April 2020. So here is this awesome stamp set, and I will be using this in the layout. You'll get these acrylic shapes, all of these pretty hearts in different sizes, and some are outlines and some are solid, to add some nice fun dimension to your project. And then you get all of this paper. This is the sticker sheet, so we'll be using some of these stickers in the project today, and then some of these stickers, actually most of them, will be used in the other projects that I will be putting together at a later date. I wanted to give you a quick close-up of the paper. So I cut into this. This is part of the paper I'll be using. It's a nice peach. And then the back is this sort of gingham diagonal green, sort of a watercolored look. So this is the paper that was supposed to be used in the layout I'm using, but I'm not using. It's this grid pattern. And then the back is this fun Carolina blue pattern. And this is the same one. I've already cut all of the zip strips off of my paper. This is my favorite one. So it's this fun iCat pattern on one side that's pink. And then the other side is this black and white striped with pink polka dots. And I just love this paper. I'm a black and white girl, and I really love black and white with pink too. So this paper really speaks to me. And so that's all of the pattern paper. That's the same one. And then you get some cardstock as well. Now you only get one sheet of smoothie, but I wanted to use it as my bases here, which is not called for. So I pulled out 2 sheets of smoothie from my stash. And then you get all of this other cardstock to complete your layouts and cards. So that is what comes in the workshop kit. It's a great value. You save by buying it as the kit, and you also get some digital files that you can use in your Cricut or Silhouette machine as well. They come as SVGs. So this here is a zip strip that I used in place of, this is a zip strip that was supposed to be used here, and I didn't like the color with what I'm doing. But it's a really fun leopard pattern. We'll be doing some watercoloring. These workshop kits are great for learning new techniques, and so the watercoloring is one of the focuses for this. All right, so I'm going to get started. I will speed this up, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm going to start out by stamping one of the flowers from this gorgeous stamp set in black ink because we're going to be doing a little bit of watercoloring on this. I really love the look of the flowers in this kit because there's very minimal coloring, but it looks so gorgeous the way that we're going to be watercoloring. So I'm using my stamp pad to watercolor, and you saw me squeeze it together before I opened it so that some ink would stick on the lid. And then I'm taking my water brush and just coloring sort of around the center of the flower. And I squeezed a little bit of water to make the outside lighter than the inside. Then I fussy cut that out with my really sharp and pointy micro tip scissors and did that for multiple flowers. Now I'm showing you the layout as designed and where the stamping is going to be, and I'm going to follow that for the most part, but I'm switching things up here with the mats. So the mats were in sapphire blue. That didn't really work with my photos and the color direction I went with that smoothie and black. So I chose to matte in smoothie as well. But first I matted in white because the background of my photos were on the darker side and I didn't like the way that they popped off of being directly on the smoothie. That was my husband handing me mail. So then I cut the white at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 so that I had a 1/8 inch border around each photo. And then the smoothie I cut at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, so there would be an additional 1/8 inch around all sides. And at first I was doubting if I should use smoothie because there's already a lot of smoothie in the background, but I decided I wanted to carry that in the mats and that there would just be pops of color throughout the rest of the layout. So here is where I'm going to start stamping in the corner of that one photo. I'm using intense black ink. You could also use the archival black ink. You just want to make sure for all of these that you're stamping in either the archival or intense because they are both waterproof and they won't smudge or smear when you're watercoloring with them. I often use the archival black ink because it is a darker, more vivid black, but I believed I used the intense for this layout. Now I'm doing the same watercolor technique for the center of this flower as well, and then I also went over it with my shimmer brush. In fact, I went over all of the flowers with my shimmer brush to add some shine. I didn't show all of that, but it adds some beautiful shine that my photos and video just really didn't pick up. But trust me, it's awesome, and I say this so many times, but that shimmer brush is a must-have for everybody. So now I'm figuring out what to do with that title, the Love These People, and don't cringe, I'm cutting my stamp, and this way it just gives me more versatility. I love cutting my stamps. You could mask as well if you are not one to want to cut your stamps. You could mask it. But cutting the stamps just really does not bother me. So I decided to do that, and I can always mount them back together on a block if I want to. So this allowed me to split the title up and put it in 2 spots across the page since I didn't have room for the whole stamp where it was supposed to go. And I really like the look of this, and I think that I probably would use these stamps cut apart more than together anyway. So there you go, another way to get more out of your stamps. Now here I'm deciding if I want to use that sort of watercolor brush stroke that comes in the stamp set. So I stamped it on a scrap paper to see how I liked the look of it and the color, and I thought that using the stamp pad just still gave it too vivid a color even in second generation stamping. So I decided to go back to my water brush and ink technique that I used earlier to get a real soft look going over the title to highlight it. And I also decided to go with blue because I didn't like the yellow. I wanted very minimal yellow in this layout since it wasn't in the photos or anywhere. So I liked the tiny little pop of color of yellow that it gave throughout this layout that I did use, but I didn't want it to be a focal point whatsoever. So I'm starting to glue my photos down, and then I will play with some of the embellishing. So I've got my sticker sheet here, and I pulled off that big sticker, and off screen I put it all over my pants to get the stick off of the back, and instead I put some foam squares on the back to pop it up. but then I realized I wanted that blue one to be underneath it, so I put some tape on the back of that one before putting the pop dotted one down. And then I went back and added some of those leaves also from the stamp set. Forgot to put those down before I put the stickers down. And then this third flower I am also pop dotting up as well. It adds some really nice dimension to this layout. And then I added shimmer brush to that, and I also had already added it to those other flowers that I cut out as well. And then I started futzing with this pink flower, seeing if it would fit over by the Love These, and I don't like how it's looking, and neither that one either, so I wanted to go with a smaller flower over there. So I pulled out another flower from the sticker sheet that was just black and white, and then this way I also had control of what color I added to that flower. I wanted a little pop of yellow there as well. And then you'll see in the bottom right I'm also going to add yellow as well. So then I have my visual triangle bottom left, top middle, and bottom right of the yellow draws the eye across the page. So I'm playing with a few embellishments here. That heart is from a little die cut pile I have from Valentine's cards last year. I kept trying to get that green heart to work from the sticker sheet, but I really didn't want to introduce another color, so I didn't use that. I really like the heart and decided to go with that, and then also the yellow arrow from the sticker sheet. But it was a bit heavier than the rest of the yellow that I have throughout the page. So I sort of covered up the back end of the arrow with the heart. And then I'm also going to cover up a little bit more of the front of the arrow with another sticker, just to kind of soften the amount of yellow that's over there, so that it wasn't too dominant. And then I put a few of the heart stickers from that sticker sheet kind of scattered throughout. And then I'm going to also add some more stamping. I'm going to use this tiny little flower and just stamp it around, sort of like its own embellishment around the page. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of bling in the form of sparkles, because I can't really have a layout without some sparkles. And that is pretty much going to wrap up the project. I forgot to note that before I started filming, I splattered the peach shimmer brush on the base of the white page, and then ended up later adding peach sparkle to the base smoothie page as well. And I did that off camera, didn't realize I wasn't filming. So there you have the finished layout. I hope you enjoy and that it inspires you to use the kit as a guideline, but make it work for you and the shape of the photos and size of the photos that you have. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel to see more videos coming up, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.